hands over their hearts. Please be advised that the 138th Fighter Wing Public Affairs Office will be live streaming the ceremony on the Wing Facebook page. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special occasion as we recognize and honor the change in leadership for the 138th Mission Support Group from Colonel Ginger D. Turcotte to Colonel Justin T. Wagner. The presiding officer and host for today's ceremony is Colonel Michael B. Meason, Commander, 138th Fighter Wing. Today we pay special tribute to Colonel Ginger D. Turcotte as she relinquishes command, and we welcome Colonel Justin T. Wagner as he assumes command of the 138th Mission Support Group. The troop commander for today's ceremony is Lieutenant Colonel Susan Newton. The wing guidon bearer is Master Sergeant Timothy Iricker, and I am Lieutenant Anthony Turner, Director of the 138th Communications Flight. The men and women standing in formation behind you represent the 138th Mission Support Group. These warriors serve our nation proudly, both home and abroad, with selfless dedication, often under the most demanding conditions. This dedication to service is a hallmark of this wing's history. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation given by Captain Chaplain John Morrison.
Let us pray. Bread of heaven and bread of life, this is the day that we recognize your new appointment of leadership. Our hearts are overfull with inexpressible gratitude, for this is the day. All are a witness to the mission of service and excellence. We thank you for choosing a leader with integrity who lead the mission, motivate all to serve, and promote strength and courage. Surround our new commander with mentors, leaders, and peers to help. As Colonel Justin T. Wagner assumes this legacy from Colonel Turcotte and takes command, give him remembrance of lessons learned and the promise that through it all, your presence will never leave. With love and service for our country and Air Force. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Morrison. To help recognize the importance of this ceremony, we are joined today by a number of special and distinguished guests. Please hold all applause until introductions are completed. Please welcome Colonel Meason's wife, Cindy Meason, and daughter Anna, Colonel Turcotte's husband, Joseph Turcotte, Colonel Wagner's wife, Mandy, and their children, Taylor, Brady, and Carter. In addition to Colonel Turcotte and Colonel Wagner's families, there are a number of distinguished visitors in attendance today that we would like to recognize. Brigadier General Brent Wright, Chief of Staff, Oklahoma Air National Guard. Brigadier General Raymond H. Siegfried III, Assistant Adjutant General, Oklahoma Air National Guard. Colonel Mark Scarsoni, Director of Plans and Programs, Oklahoma Air National Guard. Colonel Christopher Eason, Staff Judge Advocate, Oklahoma Air National Guard. Colonel Robin Cavanaugh, Vice Wing Commander, 138th Fighter Wing. Chief Master Sergeant Dennis DiPiazzo, Command Chief, 138th Fighter Wing. Colonel Randolph Whiteley, Commander, 138th Medical Group. Colonel Chad Phillips, Commander, 138th Maintenance Group. Colonel Brad Ruttman, Commander, 138th Operations Group. We would like to extend a special welcome to our current and former Air National Guard senior leaders, our 138th Fighter Wing leadership, Oklahoma State leaders, and other military and civilian guests who are here today to share in this special occasion. The purpose of this change of command ceremony is to provide Colonel Turcotte, the outgoing commander, an opportunity to bid farewell to the men and women of her command, and for the command, in turn, to welcome the incoming commander, Colonel Wagner. The change of command ceremony is rooted in military history dating back to the 18th century. At that time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each particular unit. To this flag and its commander, the soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty and trust. When a change of command was to take place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming the command. This gesture was accomplished in front of the unit so that all could see and witness their new leader assuming their dutiful position. They who held the flag also held their soldiers' allegiance. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history. Now, a bit about our honorees. Colonel Ginger D. Turcotte entered military service in November of 1990 as an airman and was later commissioned in 1999 as a graduate of the Academy of Military Science, Air National Guard. Throughout her commissioned career, Colonel Turcotte has taken on increasing levels of command at the 138th Fighter Wing, to include Communications Officer, Deputy Commander, and Operations Officer in the Communications and Fort Support Squadrons. In addition to these roles, Colonel Turcotte has successfully commanded 2 squadrons before being selected for the Mission Support Group Commander role. Most recently, Colonel Turcotte served as the National Guard Bureau Chief for the Advice and Assist Team in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Colonel Turcotte continues to serve the Oklahoma National Guard at Joint Force Headquarters as the Director of Personnel, J1 for the state of Oklahoma. Colonel Justin T. Wagner entered the military service in 1994 and was commissioned in 1999 through the Academy of Military Science, McGee-Tyson Air National Guard Base in Knoxville, Tennessee. During his career as a member of the Iowa Air National Guard, Colonel Wagner has commanded at the squadron level for the 185th Air Refueling Wing's Force Support Squadron and was selected for 3 staff positions at the Iowa Joint Force Headquarters, increasing his responsibility with each consecutive appointment. His latest role at JFHQ Iowa was Chief of Staff for the Joint Planning Group. Colonel Wagner has deployed to multiple theaters, including Bagram Air Base, Afghanistan, the Republic of Kosovo, as well as serving as the Senior Forward Air Reserve Component Advisor to U.S. Central Command. Through his many assignments, Colonel Wagner has supported U.S. military efforts in Operations Enduring Freedom, Freedom Sentinel, Resolute Support, and Inherent Resolve. Colonel Wagner is a fully qualified joint officer who ranks in the top 10% of National Guard officers nationwide. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Colonel Michael Meason.
Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for introducing our honorees here today. As I said just a few minutes ago, it takes a village to do all sorts of things, including putting together a ceremony like this. So, at the risk of repeating myself, thanks to so many out here on the stage and behind the stage and standing out there in the crowd. That's where all the work is done. General officers, senior leaders, and guests, many thanks again for your presence here today. I appreciate you taking time to honor the 138th and these fine officers here on the stage. To the families, again, you're why we serve. You're why we do what we do and wear this uniform. To Joe, thanks for your unending support of Ginger. She has navigated many different roles and responsibilities over the years, as we just heard, including recently her deployment last year and transition to her current job at Joint Force Headquarters. it's clear you inspire her and that you make a great team, so thank you. Mandy and Taylor and I didn't write the other two down. Braden. Carter. The last two are actually Iowa Air National Guard members. Carter is not quite finished high school yet. He's be joining here soon once that elbow heals up. And he did break up the play, incomplete pass, so good job. It was worth the effort. But to the Wagner crew, thanks for being here. Your father's definitely set a high bar with his legacy of service. If you ever decide to leave the Iowa Air National Guard boys, you got a home here in Tulsa at the 138th. My sincere thanks to you and your family for letting us borrow Justin for a little while. So thank you. And again, back to the 138th. Just as I said before, it's my honor to stand here in this long overdue ceremony. Colonel Wagner actually took over his duties as a Mission Support Group Commander many months ago, back in the beginning of our COVID crisis that we've been fighting through for 6 months. And in his first day on the job, before he was actually on the job, in one phone call, I asked him to be the Mission Support Group Commander, and then I asked him for some very crucial help that was needed in a time of crisis, and I thank you for that. But we're here today to remember the remarkable service of Colonel Turcotte to the Mission Support Group and welcome Colonel Wagner into his responsibility as a new commander. And as I said before, I'll do my best now to keep it short. It's been said that Squadron Command is the greatest job in the Air Force for those that have held that title. I've also heard it said that the Group Command is the hardest. It's different in many ways. Your span of influence and control is different. You go from commanding a squadron of 60 to 300 airmen to commanding 6 commanders. So it's quite a bit different. The balance and the coordination across the squadrons and other group boundaries, you become synchronizers, you become people that help work the diverse teams that we have here that make up the squadrons of MSG and the fighter wing to achieve our mission. You help find solutions beyond squadron resource limits and beyond the limits of squadron authority. It's you as the group commander that makes that happen. And you provide oversight and guidance to those squadron commanders. The bottom line is the success of the group and the group commander in charge is defined by the success of the squadrons within that group. Today we recognize one successful commander. She passes the flag to another outstanding officer, already demonstrating the same commitment and character needed to inspire success for the Mission Support Group. Ginger, as commander, you have served the MSG with strength and honor. I met you 11 years ago when we were both majors and have since been impressed with your professionalism in every role, from communications to force support commander to mission support group. You put the joint in the J1, and you continue to have a vital impact every day here for the airmen of the 138th in that role at Joint Force Headquarters, so thank you. I thank you for your continued service and support of our mission here and across the Oklahoma National Guard. Justin, this is normally the part of the ceremony where we talk about the predecessor setting the bar high and having big shoes to fill. Since Ginger and I share similar challenges in the vertical, I think I'm safe to say neither analogy seems to fit in this case. However, her success has been great. The Mission Support Group is doing a great job and firing on all cylinders, and I have no doubt you'll succeed as well as you have already. Your leadership of the Mission Support Group is already proven to be defined by that same character, commitment, and caring for the men and women of the 138th that Ginger has set before you. To you both, thanks for your willingness to serve. Thanks to your families for their unwavering support, and many thanks to the airmen of the 138th Mission Support Group. You can't have a wing that is ready and lethal without good relationships, without an MSG that is ready and lethal first. So thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite our outgoing Commander, Colonel Turcotte, to say a few remarks.
All right, good afternoon. So I have to say, this is like a homecoming, and it is so amazing to stand here before the men and women of the 138th Fighter Wing and the Mission Support Group. It's great to see your faces. General Siegfried, General Wright, commanders and airmen, family, thank you all for sharing this moment in time with us. And to my husband, Joseph, I did tell him he was getting flowers today, and he gave me that crooked smile. But I want to say to our family members that you enable us to be our best, and your efforts on the home front are so greatly appreciated, because without you, we could not do what we do. And Joseph, on behalf of the airmen of the Mission Support Group, we'd like to present you with a gift, and it's not flowers. So I will say, if there's one good thing about COVID, it's the fact that I got to have my husband all year and I didn't have to compete with the canoe trip. All right, so I have served my entire career within the gates of this wing until now, and it has been an absolute amazing journey. And having the opportunity to serve and be surrounded by this caliber of selfless airmen has taught me a lot, and I am truly, truly humbled. General Siegfried, Colonel Meason, thank you for the confidence in my abilities to command and for giving me the opportunity to serve this team for the past 2 years. General Wright, Colonel Kavanaugh, thank you for all the support. And Chief D and Kelly, congratulations on this next chapter of your life. You are the right chief at the right time. And Chief Kazi, I wish you farewell. Justin, to you and your family, I just want to say that you're getting an amazing team in the 138th Mission Support Group. They are combat proven, they are selfless servants, they are dedicated beyond measure, and I know they will make you proud. To the men and women of the 138th Mission Support Group, the silent warriors of the wing, your actions speak for themselves. You are truly, in my humble opinion, you are truly the best the Air Force has to offer. You have given much to a grateful nation and to the state of Oklahoma. So I say to you today, your future is strong and your legacy lives on. Thank you. Strength and honor.
We invite the 138th Mission Support Group to render a final salute to Colonel Turcotte as she relinquishes command. Thank you, Colonel Turcotte. Now would Colonel Meason and Colonel Wagner please join Colonel Turcotte on stage for the change of command. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command.
Publish your orders.
Attention to orders. Under the provisions of AFI 51-604, Special Order Number 20-138, Colonel Ginger D. Turcotte relinquishes command of the 138th Mission Support Group to Colonel Justin T. Wagner, effective May 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the new commander, 138th Mission Support Group, Colonel Justin T. Wagner. I invite the 138th Mission Support Group to render a first salute to Colonel Wagner as he assumes command. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Yeah, there's duct tape on it, so I like this place. First, just want to say, I'm just really humbled and honored to be here. Starting out enlisted in civil engineering in 1994. There's two stripers out there that know, anything is possible with the right mentorship and people around you. I am a symbol of so many people's grace and mentorship and kindness and patience. And to those folks, I'd like to start with a thank you. So I'd first like to start with General Wright, General Siegfried. Thanks for taking a shot in the Iowa guy. Appreciate it. I won't do you wrong. I'll work hard. And I'll execute the job with integrity. For those watching online, I know Iowa, a lot of folks wanted to be here today, but I know you're online. General Ford, General Christensen, General Atchison, General Osborne on the Army side, thank you for all your mentorship and guidance and continued support. Wouldn't be here without you all. Command Chief Master Sergeant T.J. Fennell back in Iowa, you've been a lot to me. Appreciate your mentorship. Colonel Meason and Colonel Kavanaugh. Wow, I had visions of what this would be like, and I've led folks in civilian sectors and the military side. I've just been blessed. You two have been fantastic. Better than advertised. I heard you were good, and rarely does it turn out that way. There's usually a honeymoon period and then something happens. As I talk to the civilians in the crowd and the MSG staff, what you see is truly what you get. An honest, hardworking, just really service-oriented leadership. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for making this transition so smooth. Colonel Muckey, Colonel Salmons, Colonel Finch back in Iowa. Just so many memories and support. Thank you very much. Ginger Turcotte, you have left the cupboard full, right? It's a fantastic group. Don't mess it up, Wagner, right? All right. Thank you. Chief D, thanks for all long talks. Philosophically based and honest and integrity filled, right guy at the right time for the right job. You'll do a great job. Master Sergeant Orr, Master Sergeant Nelson, Colonel Newton, thanks for the transition, patience, and all the help in getting me to this point. For the folks watching at home, I'm a civilian job traditional leader. It takes a lot of extra care and feeding from the folks folks around us and on the full-time side. But Woodbine Community School District staff and school board, thank you. Thank you for all your support, your patience. As a traditional, about 70% of the population in the National Guard is traditional, and it takes a special civilian populace and bosses on the civilian world to be patient and understand the service, and I'm very blessed to have that, so thank you. The squadron commanders and senior NCOs so far that we've worked with, thank you very much, and I'll get into that a little bit deeper. Mandy, my wife. I wrote this thing 4 times, and I love you, babe. Thank you for all the highs and the lows, and the highs again, and the deployments and the times away. And you're a rock. I love you. Taylor, Brady, and Carter, through multiple deployments, you all have been strong and steady, and you've done me proud. So thank you very much for all your support. So typically this is the point, well, I really try to keep it short because I know you've been standing for a while. And this is the point where I say I look forward to serving with you. But because of the role that I'm in and because of COVID-19, I've really served with you for about 6 months now. So I thought this would be an opportunity to really kind of highlight some of the things accomplishments that the Mission Support Group has had, and certainly the wing as well. Our job is to operate in contested environments. It is. Right, wrong, or indifference, not always easy. So I'm going to show just a few examples of how you as an MSG have impressed me over the last 6 months and how you truly have operated in a contested environment. Colonel Meason mentioned the call that I got from Colonel Meason. You know, I talked to him enough to know that even on the phone, I could tell there was a break in his voice. March 11th, I won't forget that day. Many of you won't either. That really started the process of operating, in contested environments when posthumously promoted Tech Sergeant Marshall Roberts was killed in combat. See, I'd just come from Taji. I knew the base commander there, Colonel Polkowski, great guy, Polk, he went by, and he needed information, and so that was the call. Colonel Meason was grace under fire, quite frankly, and did a fantastic job. Chief Master Sergeant Hildebrandt, the service for Tech Sergeant Roberts, he would be proud. You made him very proud. COVID-19 started officially in March and April after that. I don't need to talk anymore about, what that's meant. Lieutenant Colonel Val Pickett set up the COVID working group and has done a fantastic job. The RCP-3 deployment has come back in the middle of all this. Captain Gustosi, rock star, great job. All the parts of moving them out, getting the ONE deployment out. While in the middle of this, we did a full CHES migration. Why not, right? Let's give it a shot. Lieutenant Colonel Dion Sturd, fantastic job in making sure that we took all of our systems and migrated and moved them off right in the middle of a really busy time. That comm flight, fantastic job. We stood up a virtual emergency operations center to help our brothers and sisters to the south during hurricane ops. Virtual EOC, by the way, right? One of the first times we've done that. We supported the President of the United States, the POTUS visit to Tulsa, which basically from an MSG side means everything, you stop what you're doing and we help, right? We stand up and we support. Senior Master Sergeant Cap Brown, Security Forces team, amongst others, did a fantastic job. The ONE deployers, so we out here last Saturday, over 300 folks, going out the door and deployers, and I see an airman running from the plane. It was Master Sergeant Sam Taylor. And Master Sergeant Sam Taylor had brought a pair of boots for an airman who changed the size from what they wrote on their original order. So in talking to Lieutenant Colonel Phillips from the LRS perspective, he said, oh yeah, he's done that a lot. Those are the silent warriors that Colonel Turcotte talked about. Those things that don't just happen by magic. It's not pixie dust. It's hard work. And it's people putting a lot of time, effort, and energy in to make that happen. Thank you. Other interesting facts during this contested time and environment over the last 6 months. CE, Lieutenant Colonel Stevens, Senior Master Sergeant Lonsdale, Master Sergeant Hughley in the contracting office have executed almost more than $5 million in contracts and in projects. They've supported over 2,300 sorties. Pause for effect. During the last year, during COVID, supported over 2,300 sorties. Master Sergeant Amanda Beck, who's the lead NCO and POL, jets don't fly without gas. I know they've gotten calls late at night. They've gotten calls early in the morning. They were here. Thank you for that. Recruiting has had over 112 sessions. Not sure how you put that into layman's terms. We still always have work to do, always more work to do. But Tech Sergeant Earler and your team from recruiting, thanks for standing up in the middle of a shortened manning area, and done a fantastic job. Master Sergeant Hamby identified the replacement of the aircraft arresting tape, and then went out at midnight and was fixing it. Second round of that's happening, my understanding, tonight. And then the last one I'm going to mention is Senior Airman Logan Sad. He's actually on the deployment. I went out to Security Forces and thought I'd go through some training with them, and while I was out there, they talked me into getting tased. They said the last MSG commander had done it, so I asked Ginger, and she said they didn't. So, yeah, right? Yeah, I got tased by a senior airman who in the back said, oh, I heard, I was standing there, and he's standing beside me, and they're like, oh yeah, let's get Sad up here. And I'm like, oh, this would be good. And they're like, oh, it's his first time. They're like, no, not up in the head, lower. That's all I hear in the back, them chatting. So thanks, Airman Sad. Oh, by the way, the largest inspection that we will have is coming up in November, right? So you all have done a fantastic job, and I'm just really honored to have already served the first 6 months with y'all. Look, you already got me saying y'all, with you. And I look forward to the next whatever time we have together. I'm very proud of you. I'm honored to serve. I thought because we started a little heavy, I'm going to end a little light. We spend more time with each other than we do with our families, so we got to have some fun. So I thought I'd put a couple things together as I heard the legacy and the stories of the 138th Fighter Wing. I thought I'd put this quick list together based on those stories. And here's the moniker. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if you schedule the yearly drill calendar around hunting season. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if you know the difference between Uaga, Tahlequah, and Miami. Did I pronounce Miami right? Spelled Miami, but it's Miami. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if you go by your middle name as your first name. Now, you know there's people out there that do that. They do that probably to mess up guys like me because you're trying to remember. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if you call off drill at 0700 due to an ice storm, and at 0800 the sun is shining and people are here saying, where's everybody at? Last one here, second to last. You know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing, like most Air National Guard bases. If you come to drill weekend to conduct family reunions to see all your aunts and uncles, neighbors, spouses, we do that in Iowa too. It's a family. It really is. And the last one is, you know you're from the 138th Fighter Wing if you deeply care about your community, you love the state of Oklahoma, and you love the United States of America. And that's easy to see, and it's easy to feel. And I look forward to continuing that. My final thought is the 138 has a moniker of strength and honor, so I just looked up the words. What strength means? Strength means the capacity to withstand great force or pressure. Well, I've seen that in 6 months. Continue to take care of each other, but I've seen that in 6 months. I've seen that strength. How about honor? Honor is the adherence to what is right. Old saying, right? It's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So with that, I will say I'm very proud to be joining your family. Thanks for welcoming me so much. I'm proud to be a part of the Oklahoma National Guard, certainly the Air National Guard. God bless the USA. Strength and honor.
Thank you, Colonel Wagner. The men and women of the 138th Mission Support Group welcome Colonel Wagner and his family as he assumes his new duties as the commander of the 138th Mission Support Group. They extend their best wishes to Colonel Turcotte and her family in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation in today's ceremony. This concludes the change of command. Please join us for a joint hail and farewell reception to congratulate Colonel Wagner and Chief DiPiazzo, and say farewell to Colonel Turcotte and Chief Kazi here in the main hangar.